It was a crisp Saturday morning in October when my life took an unexpected turn into what I can only describe as a suburban nightmare involving the most entitled woman I had ever encountered. My name is Marcus Reed, a successful architectural engineer and proud homeowner in what was supposed to be the upscale Crestwood Knolls neighborhood on the outskirts of Atlanta. After 3 years of grinding 60-hour work weeks, I had finally saved enough to buy my dream property, a beautiful colonial-style home with a detached guest house I planned to convert into a home office. I had been away on a 6-month project in Seattle, a career-defining opportunity one couldn't pass up. My cousin Derek had been house-sitting, but he moved out 2 weeks before my return to start a new job in Chicago. I'd arranged for a local property management service to check on the place weekly until I got back. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough to prevent what happened next. That Saturday, with a coffee in hand, I strolled across my lawn toward the guest house, ready to start reorganization. But something seemed off. Curtains I'd never installed were drawn, and I could hear the faint sound of a television from inside. "What the hell?" I muttered, nearly spilling my coffee. Peeking through a crack in the curtains, I saw furniture I'd never bought: a floral couch, shelves cluttered with ceramic cat figurines, and lace doilies covering the end tables. My heart pounded as the door opened and out stepped an elderly white couple, just as surprised to see me as I was to see them. "Oh my, can we help you?" the woman asked, clutching her cardigan. "I think there's been a misunderstanding," I said calmly, trying to keep the panic from my voice. "I'm Marcus Reed. This is my property, and that's my guest house." The man stepped forward, protective but polite. "We've been renting this guest house from a Ms. Donahue for the past 4 months. We even have a lease." Ms. Donahue. That name sent a chill down my spine. Brenda Donahue was the head of the neighborhood HOA, a woman who made no effort to hide her disapproval when I first moved in. Her so-called concerns about my presence in the neighborhood were always dressed in the thin veil of rules and regulations. "May I ask how much you're paying?" $1,200 a month. Utilities included, the woman replied cheerfully. Ms. Donahue said she managed the property while the owner was overseas. Rage simmered beneath my calm exterior. I was paying a $2,800 mortgage, and this woman was collecting rent by fraudulently representing herself as the property manager. I asked to see the lease. Inside the guest house, Gerald and Martha Foster showed me a document bearing Brenda Donahue's signature, claiming she was the authorized manager of 2284 Whitmore Lanhamy address. "Mr. and Mrs. Foster," I said gently, "I'm afraid you've been misled. Ms. Donahue has no authority over this property. I'm the sole owner, and I never authorized anyone to lease it." They were stunned, and I assured them they wouldn't be forced out immediately. I photographed the lease and the guest house's current condition before heading to confront Brenda. She lived 4 doors down in a Tudor-style house that looked like it belonged in a landscaping magazine. I rang her doorbell, heart pounding. She answered in her typical pastel perfection blonde bob, powder blue blazer, and a condescending smile. "Marcus," she said coolly, "the next HOA meeting is Thursday. If this is about citations, please submit complaints in writing." "Actually, Brenda, this is about the Fosters, the couple who've been renting my guest house from you for the past 4 months. Her mask cracked. Her expression twisted briefly before she composed herself. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said, trying to close the door. I blocked it gently with my hand. "I saw the lease. I have the photos. You forged documents and collected rent on a property you don't own." "The guest house was empty," she snapped. "I was trying to keep up the neighborhood. We can't have vacant properties attracting trouble." "So you committed fraud? That's your excuse?" Her voice dropped to a hiss. "You should be thanking me. This neighborhood used to be something before they started letting just anyone buy in." "Just anyone?" I asked, my voice quiet but firm. "You mean people like me?" "That's not what I meant," she said, but her tone betrayed her. "I want every cent of that rent money back, and you need to come clean to the Fosters," I told her. She scoffed. "I did nothing wrong. I have responsibilities. The HOA gives me certain powers, not the power to steal. If you don't make this right, I'll be calling both the police and a lawyer." That's when she made her move. She pulled out her phone and called 911. "Yes, there's a large black man at my door. He's aggressive. I feel threatened. Please send help." I backed away immediately, hands visible. I'm recording this, I said calmly, pulling out my phone. You know I haven't threatened you. You can't record me, she shrieked. Actually, I can. Georgia's a one-party consent state, I reminded her. 10 minutes later, 2 officers arrived. One white and older, the other younger and black. I remained composed, explaining the situation while Brenda put on an Oscar-worthy performance. He's been hostile since we cited him. I feel unsafe. I handed over my ID and evidence. This is my property. I was away for work. She rented it out fraudulently. The tenants can confirm it. Officer Davis, the younger one, nodded. Officer Bennett, the older one, was more skeptical at first. But once they reviewed the lease and I showed them the recording, their demeanor changed. We walked back to my house where the Fosters confirmed everything. Brenda stood silent, her face pale. When Officer Davis asked if she had authorization from me, she claimed it was verbal. I denied it immediately. She said the owner was a foreign investor, Mrs. Foster added. We never even saw a picture. Brenda looked like she might collapse as the officers laid out the charges: fraud, trespassing, false police report. They took her in for a formal statement. The neighborhood watched from their porches as the self-righteous HOA queen was escorted into a cruiser. In the following days, I hired Amina Caldwell, a sharp real estate attorney who specialized in HOA abuse. She reviewed everything and confirmed we had a strong case for civil damages. Brenda had also targeted 2 other homeowners in nearby neighborhoods, both black. It established a pattern. At the next HOA meeting, Brenda's absence was notable. The board suspended her pending investigation. Residents came forward, many apologizing for turning a blind eye. The HOA began a full policy review. I let the Fosters stay for a few months at a reduced rate. They were kind, honest people who had been manipulated. Over time, the community started changing. Brenda was eventually charged and settled both civilly and criminally. Her plea agreement included restitution, a public apology, and the sale of her home. I used part of the settlement to renovate the guest house and launch a local nonprofit, Safe Haven Housing. It provides transitional housing to families in crisis. Justice doesn't always look like courtrooms and verdicts. Sometimes it looks like helping others rebuild. And sometimes the best revenge is turning your oppressor's scheme into something that strengthens the very community they tried to control.